Find out what's being served with Mike Defo and Luby, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. There's no music today because this is a stripped-down acoustic version of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox with Jeff Defo DeForest. And I did it, Defo. I think we're up and running. I think I actually was able to get us on the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group. And I think we're going to have ourselves a show today, and quite a show. I mean, jam-packed agenda. And Mike Luby Lubitz off in the disaster-stricken Morocco, off in the Sahara riding camels. And now you are truly expendable, Luby. So don't bother coming back. No, we're kidding. We need Luby. We love Luby. I need the music. It's just not a lunchbox with the theme song to Food, Gloria's Food, Oliver Twist. How are you today, Jeff Defo?
I am good. Massively impressed that you got this thing up and running. So
I think
let's
so.
give it a go. Yeah.
Let's see if anybody is on the. I got to bring up the chat stream. Let's see.
I see Bonnie's already weighed in. Says hi, kids.
Oh, good. Okay, so I think that means I actually figured it out, that's kind of a bigger miracle than the Dolphins pulling out a. I don't know if it's a comeback.
Well, Annette is on board here saying hello.
We got everybody.
Yeah,
all right.
Get the whole crew.
I'm actually in control. I could actually say hello. And you see, I even put in the caption, Mayo playing Luby's understudy. We've got Defo in his usual spot. How did your morning show go? I caught some of it, but I was busy doing some stuff running around. But I caught some of it. Professor, very, very funny as usual and very capable as usual, right?
On top of his game, yeah. I don't know that I know him more. I mean, he may be wrong about many games, but I don't know that I know a more authoritative voice on college football that I would trust to, at least buy his analysis on a game. Whether or not you go ahead and cash on it or not, that's another matter. Not always easy to do, but yeah, very professional. And see, I would figure the professor would be the type of guy, he'd be showing Luby how to set this stuff up. He majored in Maverick systems of broadcasting and has done a dynamite job over the years troubleshooting many things. So he got it up and running very well, and so far, you're right there with him. I mean,
so
you
good.
Actually administrated a couple of complexities here that even the professor left out.
No, and you know what? I'm very look. Friday when you're in a foreign atmosphere, not foreign atmosphere. I'm talking about like on a remote show, road show, and then you think you got everything.
That could be a foreign atmosphere. Those shows we did at Porky's and Hialeah certainly would qualify under that heading.
Well, I'm talking about the Friday show at Gulfstream. Once we got things figured out, it turned out very well. And actually, Professor was hilarious. A friend of mine, a listener, loyal listener, said that she was rolling in the aisles at the way that Professor Ken was talking about how Luby's dog totally resembles Luby and his neuroses and stuff like that. And I was so busy fiddling around with gadgets and trying to get us up and running on the Facebook group, I missed all that. I watched the show back, the second version of the show, and he was hilarious. And I hope that the dog is doing well. I know that Luby, and a lot of stuff happened since we did that show Friday. Namely worldwide headlines, a major international disaster. Do we say, I mean, we don't want to make light of it. Obviously, it's a horrible tragedy. Thousands of people have lost their lives, but, kind of the curse of Luby lives, right?
Well, I mean, the fact that he wasn't actually in Marrakesh at the time was the only surprise about those developments. Yeah, I mean, a major tragedy, 6.8 on the Richter scale. I lived in California, experienced a couple of tremors here and there. I was gone before the Northridge earthquake, which was really devastating and probably the most devastating one that I remember. I mean, in recent history, hitting the LA area. But
Northridge,
yeah, Northridge, and it was always a little weird. You'd be sitting somewhere, maybe at an outdoor cafe down there on Wilshire Boulevard. And enjoying a cocktail in the company of an attractive young woman. And the next thing you know, you'd be looking across the street saying, are those buildings shaking? Should we really be sitting here smiling at each other and contemplating the things that are about to transpire? It's a little frightening. And that was on a minor level, like 0.2 on the, 2 point whatever on the Richter scale.
Yeah, and I've experienced an earthquake when I was covering the Winter Games in Nagano,
Oh, wow.
Japan in '98. There was again, it was me and Hyde were roomies in the media. They build the media
He regrets that to
apartments.
this day,
Oh
as
yeah,
you can tell by his
all kinds of
conversation.
things.
Yeah.
But that they basically built all these like new apartments, but you never know when they're building things on a temporary basis how well it's made and is the structure going to hold. And I got to tell you, when that whole room, and we were in it was like I don't know, it wasn't bunk beds, but it was like a small room, and the whole thing starts shaking. And it's like, holy crap, what is going on? And it ended up being like a 5.2 earthquake.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know how many miles away, but it's definitely something you felt, and it definitely is something that makes you very uneasy. And you realize the ephemeral nature of life in general, and you also come to appreciate South Florida, where we don't have earthquakes, but at least you could see the hurricanes coming, right?
Well, it's you can run but you can't hide, kind of thing. The old Joe Louis line. I just remember last time thinking, hey, the safest place I could go would be Orlando, middle of the state, right there. No chance Ron DeSantis showing up because it's near Disney World. And sure enough, that's where the hurricane had its biggest impact. So,
That was that
you,
Batman
you
one.
don't
Yeah.
know. The quakes come out of nowhere, though. I remember standing on a very shaky balcony when I was living in an apartment in Ontario, California, and we experienced a couple of tremors back to back. And I was living on a second floor of this apartment building. And I remember being on the balcony thinking, I don't know that this is the place I really want to be. But those were mild quakes. Yeah,
Yeah.
devastating.
Well,
And only Luby, could be out there. Jim Sarney cracking me up, though, saying that, after seeing Luby riding a camel, does it make us want to try it?
I don't want
I
to.
don't know, man.
I wouldn't want to bet on that camel. That's for
Yeah.
sure. He's not going to complete the trifecta for us. But no, you know what? Look, okay. So just to give the update for those who didn't, maybe I did post on Let's Eat on Saturday
There
morning
was a
when
lot
we
of concern about Luby. Did
Yeah,
that not
no.
surprise you a little bit? I mean, I had an
No.
overwhelming number of inquiries about Luby's well-being.
Look, seriously, when somebody's in the middle of something that is a major international disaster, and we weren't quite sure where he and Shirley were, we know that Marrakesh was on his agenda, schedule, itinerary.
As it would be for almost anyone, right?
Yeah, and so when I
Do
saw
you
some
know
of
the way to Marrakesh? I mean, it's part of a song, for God's
is
sake.
that Crosby, Stills, Nash, who did that song? That
Crosby,
was-
Stills, and Nash. And then, as I mentioned, the route for that very successful Moroccan restaurant I worked at in L.A. was a restaurant in San Francisco called the Marrakesh.
the
Oh, it was
Marrakesh.
just called Marrakesh, and it was part of another very famous San Francisco restaurant at the time called L'Orangerie, which was owned by the same
Very
man.
nice. Way to bring it back to the food. I very much appreciate
Pierre
that.
Dupart, yeah.
But anyway, we did give the update. I want to give the update for all the viewers and listeners that Luby and Shirley were actually, I believe, in Fez on the night of the actual earthquake, which is hundreds of miles away up in I guess it's the northeast corner of the country, and the biggest, the epicenter was down in the southwest.
Ask yourself this: what the hell is Luby doing there?
Well,
Seriously.
no, they have. Look,
He did
Morocco's
have a
a very
Bastia pie, though. He tried one. He wasn't impressed. He wasn't nearly as blown away as most people are when they have it the
it's
first
a
time.
fine destination. They're more known for like the tagine, like the that clay pot that you cook stews in and serve with couscous and a lot of times with prunes and things like that. I mean, some excellent cuisine in Morocco, and it's a fine place to go for a vacation, but maybe not so fine when there's major. When there's a major earthquake, and they're supposed to go to Marrakesh, I believe, on Wednesday. He said. I said, "Is that been adjusted?"
Inadvisable.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, the hotels there are still good. They were still planning on going," is what I heard. But then, like if he was a politician, let's say, like a president, and Fox News got a hold of the pictures of him riding a camel at the time of this major international, disaster and suffering, what would they be doing? Would they just be saying,
crucifying him? Jim Jordan would be up there ready to, nail him to a cross somehow, some kind of political cross. But fortunately, he's okay. I was surprised. I got inquiries from people I hadn't heard from for a long time, wondering about the relative well-being of the Lubies. But as you said, I mean, if it could happen to anybody, right? It would be Mike Lubitz traveling to Morocco. And that day, mean, is when the devastation happened. So
Yeah.
very
but
unfortunate
anyway,
for those people there. Well, we had a lot of good stuff happening here though, which was
well,
great.
we're on firm ground here,
Yeah.
although sometimes we're on shaky ground, but today we feel like we're on firm footing. What a weekend of sports. And before I get into the whole Dolphins and football and the glories of UM and FSU, and of course, we got to salute Delray Beach's own Coco Gauff, U.S. Open champion at age 19. This is all fantastic stuff, but I got to bring it home more personally now to poker in my poker sphere, my poker buddies. There was a big tournament up in Tampa this past weekend, and one of those $1 million guarantees that they sometimes run here at the Hard Rock. And we ourselves are having a poker tournament tomorrow night at the Seminole Coconut Creek Casino. Everybody should come out. 6 p.m. $130 buy-in gets you a $25 food voucher, along with the chance to win a $10,000 guaranteed prize pool. And there will be at each table bounties with one person. If you knock them out, the designated bounty person at your table, you knock them out, you get a $250 gift certificate to NYY Steak. Now, one of the people that I invited, because I tried to get some food people, they're bailing out. Everybody has conflicts, it seemed like. So I've gone to some of my accomplished poker playing pals, including Jackie Scott, who actually won the World Series of Poker women's title, women's bracelet in 2015. She lives in Fort Lauderdale. She has committed to being there. Nikki Mohan will be there along with her
gambling fiend Mohan.
Yeah, and her beau Demetrius will give him a bounty status if he wants. You, of course, will be there. I hope Jesse can come, and now he can come as a bounty.
Jesse's questionable, believe it or not.
Okay.
And this is kind of odd, but he does some accounting work for. And it's there's an irony in here for John Malkovich, and so he is engaged right now in doing some of that work.
He's not being John Malkovich; he's auditing John Malkovich.
No, he's not auditing. I mean, he would be on the other side of that, but
bean counting.
Let's just say he's helping him out with some stuff, and
defending John Malkovich.
I mean, of course, that's KGB, and that may keep him from playing in the Mayo Memorial.
A check. Of course, John Malkovich
he
played
trapped me.
The great
Pay
character.
that man his money. One of the
in
great
the
lines,
movie
in any movie.
Hey, there's all kinds of angles going on here, and I haven't even got to the point because
so are people excited about this? I mean, what kind of movement do we have?
Well, so here's the thing. No, there's no advanced tickets. It's just walk up, and the beauty of poker players. I don't mean to compare them unfavorably to any rodents or insects, but they are like cockroaches and rats. If you put out a guaranteed prize pool, they will show up, and hopefully in numbers that will cover the prize pool. And again, thanks to the age of social media and this real-time reporting on, if there's a potential overlay and there's still an hour left to buy into the tournament, they come scurrying out from all the cracks and crevices. So I'm hopeful that we're going to get a good turnout. But one of the people I invited last week, an accomplished poker player, not a pro, he's a former BSO employee, but he has gone on to some big scores in the poker world. My man, Willie Wiggins. And one time he almost made it to the televised final table of one of the events at the Hard Rock. He got bubbled out of that in 7th, but he still took home $146,000. That was like a couple of years ago.
Sweet.
Well, anyway, Willie, along with my other buddies, they went up to Tampa to take their shot at this $400 entry fee with a $1 million guarantee. 3,788 competitors. They're coming back today. 12 are left to play for a top prize of $163,000. Everybody who comes back today gets at least $16,000. Not a bad result for a $400 buy-in. But
how many guys are left in there? One.
So Willie Wiggins is one of the 12 remaining contestants, competitors up in Tampa today. Nice. He has a shot to take down $163,000. If
now, do you get a piece of this as part of your poker corporation deal that you had going?
I might get a couple of old fashions out of the deal, but
that's it. Wow.
No, I never partnered.
Don't ask
Willie.
for him smoked either, Mayo. I mean, don't be such a pretentious, foodie, pseudo intellectual. The bartenders hate it, really. I mean, when you ask for the smoked old fashioned, I can assure you, they hate it. They look at the people in disgust.
I don't get the smoked. I get the regular old fashioned. I don't even.
It may be a drink that makes you feel a certain sense of elegance about yourself, but the truth is, the bartender is looking at you like you're a schmink. No matter how gracious they are about the service and how big of a smile they have on their face, because
Right. It's a pain in the butt. Nobody has to. They have to get the
There you
lighter and get the dome and the glass.
go to a barbecue. You want to see a fire? I mean, come on.
I'm not. But if it's one of the specialties of the house, our friends.
I heard you asked for that though. At you asked for that at NYY Steak when we were there. Oh, do you make the smoked old fashioned? And I was ready to strangle you. I really was.
Yeah, I cannot deny that. But NYY Steak does such a tremendous job, and they also love, making people happy, and they're in the hospitality business, and along with our good friends at Tropical Acres, and they like to please people, so
they would do it. No,
yeah,
and
they
would smile through it.
So the bottom line is tomorrow night, come on out. You could actually come out a little bit early and get a little appetizer at the bar at NYY Steak before.
Can you
the
sign on in
tournament.
advance, or it's all just shape up here?
Well, no. So they're going to be selling the entry tickets starting tomorrow. So you could go into the poker cage, the poker room there, and get your entry ticket early if you want.
$130 is nothing, right? Isn't that like a relatively modest fee? Yeah,
it's for the heavy hitters. It's considered a nickel. It's just it's just like a drop in the bucket. It's like throwing a coin in the Trevi Fountain or whatever. But it's for those who don't maybe necessarily aren't comfortable playing live or never done it. Obviously it's a little bit of money, but the guarantee is you get your $25 food voucher, which you can use for any restaurant there.
So now it's only $1.05. Yeah.
And then it's $1.05. And you have basically a 1 in 9 shot of winning a $250 gift certificate to NYY Steak, because every table is going to have one. Willie Wiggins was supposed to be. I hope, I think the tournament.
Well, let's hope he's not there. This is one of those times where kind of like in Good Will Hunting, where you're just hoping that Matt Damon's not there.
This tournament is going to conclude today in Tampa. The question is, can I lure him if he just won $160,000 to show up to my piddly little thing? But he's a good friend.
You know what? I mean, I think he would honor you by showing up for that, and it would be great because he would have achieved some kind of at least statewide celebrity status. Cashing in that tournament again.
And the not funny part, but my late friend Sean, who I miss dearly, who
wasn't he the guy that cashed big in that thing?
Yeah. He won the same structure of this event, where it was a $400, it might have been a $500 entry, and that one there was like 1.3 million. Sean ended up doing a deal where he got $200,000 and he won the trophy. So it'd be something if like two people in my orbit managed to bring home some hardware and some heavy duty coinage from the Tampa casino. Willie goes in. They start again the final 12 at 1 p.m. today. He has a stack of about 4 point something million. The average stack is 8 million. There's one guy who has 30 something million, but at this level, it's bingo. Like anything can happen. So we're rooting him on, and I hope that he wins big. And it'll be just really something if like 2 out of my 4 closest friends in the local poker community end up bagging titles in that event. And of course me, I can't even fade a flush draw and make it past the first break in half the tournaments that I'm playing now. I'm just
as evidenced by that performance last Saturday.
Yeah, I'm just terrible now, but I'm glad that I hang out with people who are somewhat competent. So it makes me look, like somebody said on some post, I'm a great food critic and a mediocre poker player. And it's something like, that's a shot. But right now, I can't argue with it. My results suck.
Well, that's not good, Michael. All right, okay, you had enough on that topic?
Yes, I did.
I think many people that are comatose now watching this trying to figure it out. I hope they come out for this thing. I wanted to mention this. I don't know, and it's sort of going off at the same time as our event. So they're radically different things. I don't know. Are you a fan or not a fan of Oceans 234, a restaurant I like?
Yeah,
a lot. I like Daniel Rossi.
Yeah,
and I keep seeing online this picture of a guy, and I'm saying, in relation to Oceans 234, a little promotional thing they had going, and I'm saying, does Brad have an evil twin from Even Keel Fish Shack? That looks like Brad Phillips.
Yeah, Brad. So
he is. Sure enough, he's involved in this thing, and it sounds pretty interesting for the foodies out there.
Brad and Dave. Okay, Brad initially committed to the poker tournament without realizing that there was a conflicting event. Same night is this Taste of Deerfield Beach being held at Oceans 234, and a lot of the good local chefs, including our friends Brad and Dave from Even Keel and Paula De Silva from.
Are the De Silvas related? There are 2 like De Silvas listed.
I don't know. They might be. Yeah, one's. I think they're a
There's
married
Paula
couple
De
now.
Silva and
Is one,
another De Silva that's also
one
involved in
might
this
be
thing.
her wife, who's a really
Carissa
accomplished.
De Silva.
Yeah. They're married couple, and
Okay.
Carissa is the very accomplished pastry chef. So they'll both be taking part. So anyway, Brad and Dave send their regrets. They both wanted to play. They're both poker players.
What's
So I
Brad
said,
going to make? Did he give you any indication, or does that have to be a secret?
Huh? For the
Do we have to
event
go to
tomorrow?
Mar-a-Lago and examine the documents?
I don't know what he's making tomorrow. I'm sure he's bringing one of
All
their
right.
great specialties. But the other person that gets knocked out with a conflict, I thought Pat Utter from Shenanigans, and they had a great weekend.
Is
of
he cooking
sports
there
action.
too? No, he's not in this thing.
No, he's not in the event. He said he told me he would definitely love to come because Pat loves to, play some cards and he likes the horses and everything. Unbeknownst to him, his wife bought tickets to Sting. Sting is performing at the Hard Rock Live down in Hollywood. So
That would be worth seeing, I think.
Pat Utter is out. So I've got all kinds of slots available. Chris Perkins from the Sun Sentinel.
He didn't bail out because he had hit a deadline after the Chargers game, did he?
He said he's basically committed, even though he says he's an awful poker player. And I said that's what we want. We want to just totally confuse the good players. So,
I think you're at an advantage. I felt like I was being completely. I mean, I've watched a million televised poker events over the years. I was a big fan back in the day when it was like Doyle Brunson and Sammy Faha and Scotty Wynn. And you had Gabe Kaplan announcing these events.
Yeah.
On ESPN. They had like a little
little
microphone on a hanger that he was wearing around his neck. I mean, it was very primitive, the production of this stuff. He was outside schwitzing at Binion's in the downtown area. Stu Unger might have even been playing. But, so I've seen enough of it to understand, the basics of the game. But when you're actually playing it, it's kind of like, you're watching guys play basketball at the park and you're thinking, okay, I'm as good as any of these guys. And then you get in a game and the pace is like 3 times faster than anything you're used to. And so, these guys are studying everything. But I think having no idea what you're doing gives you like almost like Ben Shelton when he was facing Djokovic, like a wild card element is there.
Yeah, no, and it kind of ticks off the accomplished players because you do things that make no sense at all.
Yeah.
And like overplaying certain hands or maybe, going crazy with a pocket deuces or something like that. And
or the Mustangs calling you and saying, hey, we got to leave. Can we get out of here? And I'm saying, okay, I'll go all in with like 2-7 offsuit, my favorite hand. And sure enough, you end up, rivering a full house.
Right.
And take it down the pot.
That's usually when you keep doubling up. When you're trying to dump off your chips, you just get
exactly. Yeah.
And just
I couldn't get out of there. It was crazy.
Worst things that could happen. All right. So that's going to be tomorrow night. Hey, how about you want to conduct?
That's Coconut Creek, right? Coconut
Creek Casino. It's right off Sample
Just show
Road,
up
off
at the poker room,
Turnpike.
and you're
Go into the old poker room. Better yet, get there. I'm going to get there.
What kind of food thing is going to be going on? Are we going to get it tomorrow? Those steaks or the bacon thing?
The thing is, they have food service and a bar in the poker room itself, which is on the second floor, smoke free. So there will be tableside service where you could order stuff. And again, they have quite a good food offerings there. If you get there early, you could go to NYY Steak. Their cocktail lounge bar area opens, I think, at 4 or 5 o'clock. You could go and get an appetizer and a drink before the tournament. You could actually buy into the tournament up till 9 o'clock. So you could have a full dinner at NYY Steak if you're so inclined. And then
what great people there. I don't mean to say this just because they're hosting the tournament, but I still have visions of that steak, whatever they call that thing.
That long bone ribeye.
On the grill, and it was just barely getting started. And the chef there was a dynamite guy. He was terrific.
Yeah.
And the taste, Paul. I mean, out of a zillion steaks, I would have to say that had to be in the top 5 all time, if not right at the top of the list. That was absolutely spectacular.
Prime beef and quite look, it's kind of a below the bank special occasion pricing. I'm not gonna
right. It's not a bargain, that's for sure.
It's not a bargain, but if you're a player there, I'm sure they could give you some comps or something.
Comp consideration always appreciated.
And again, that one I think went for $125. I don't know if they charge extra to carve your little initials or name in the bone like they did for the lunchbox when we were.
How about you got your own knife?
Yes, and that is something now.
Like Sting, if he went there tomorrow night before the show, he couldn't get his own knife.
No, and Sting is at the Hollywood Hard Rock. We're
Yeah, I
gonna
know,
be
but I
both
mean, if
agree.
he
Yeah,
just happened to
but
go
if he
out of
went
his
to
way to get
Council
dinner,
Oak,
yeah.
yeah. Again, it's one of those things that you got to be somebody. I guess I don't know. I mean,
There you go.
Kelly Montner, the director of poker there, it was a very nice surprise for her to bestow, and Gordon, the GM, bestow a custom made engraved knife that they
Man.
keep in a storage, like it's a picture window. It's like a humidor where people.
It's like a Hall of Fame jacket. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So, and every time I go in there and order one of those steaks, I can use that knife. I will request that knife, and then it gets put back under lock and key so that no disgruntled ex-spouses or chefs that I might have given only 1 or 2 stars.
There are probably a few that would like to stick it right in your rib cage, no doubt.
Anyway, hey, what do you think? Let's do a contest tiebreaker, and then we'll come back after the first break and talk sports, the weekend, and my food weekend, which is also I think it's like a decathlon, because I think I hit another 10 restaurants.
No.
So much for moderation, but
oh my God,
yeah,
Mayo, you have to be careful. Because I was thinking, the only ugly number that came out of that Dolphin game was the 234 rushing yards by the Chargers. And I actually, when it came across the screen, I thought they had accidentally flashed your last cholesterol reading.
No, actually, it was only 210. It was only
210. Okay.
So it wasn't a total massacre. And again, I'm already on some cholesterol meds. It's a matter of I have to moderate a little or up the dosage. I think it's time to moderate a little.
What is a good number there? It was like 150 scary? What's a good number?
Anything under 200 is a good number. Anything
under 200, okay.
It's like the scale. Anytime your cholesterol or your weight starts with a 1, it means
it's definitely an advantage, no question. All right, so the chicken place was Fran's, right?
Fran's Chicken Haven was the clue. That was the answer to last week's contest restaurant. Again, it's been in Boca since 1964. A little hole in the wall. You've never eaten there? Have you driven?
I want to say no. I know my son has, and we got together yesterday. We were talking about some things, but and he's a big VNS fan. You'll be happy to know. But beyond that, I want to say no, although regarded by many, including one of my great musician friends who's out in Las Vegas right now at the Big Blues Bender, which is a spectacular gathering of players. But J.P. Soares, local musician, he swears by Fran's as being the best fried chicken that he's ever had. And this is a guy that's raised in Arkansas in the Deep South and all of that.
It's
so
good
a lot of people love it. Yeah, and I think, is it not reasonable also?
Yeah, no, it's reasonable because it's like a hole in the wall, mostly takeout. So, you get these family dinners, you get a whole assortment. You could just get by the piece they sell. If you just want to get a couple of thighs or a breast, whatever you want, they have it there. And they also sell the sandwiches now. So Fran's Chicken Haven was the winner. And that was the answer. And it was in honor of September is actually National Chicken Month. There's such
Don Jaffe weighs in on the chat line and says he went there Friday. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome chicken.
Yeah. So
there's an infusion of chicken places, though. I mean, they are very much on the rise. Joe Beja was enamored with that place that is going up in Pompano, and they already had one, I think, in Delray. They were not Delray, but Lighthouse Point. They were putting together new chicken. What is it? Raisin Cane or something like that. Raisin.
Raising Cane's is the new place, and I'm distracted because I as much as
you have the wrong batch of names in the hat?
No, I have 9 names in the hat because the race, the Dr. Fager division of the Stallion Stakes, it's like the first leg.
One of my favorite events back here in the day in South Florida that I got to cover.
So the heavy favorite, Ben Tornado, and as Joe Beja was saying, maybe tornadoes of beef is the food angle. Well, he made mincemeat out of the competition. So there were 9 winners that had the number 10, Ben Tornado.
Wow.
What I didn't realize, and I failed to check the other day because I'm slipping a little bit, was that there was a scratch of the number 4. So I now quickly have to make sure.
You were badly distracted though on Friday.
Friday I had all kinds of
that was pandemonium there for a while.
I'm quickly scanning through to make sure that there is no other contestants that had number 4 because they would be eligible to go into the hat. Oh yeah, Gregory Kosks had number 4. He needs to go in the hat.
Throw him in there. Put his name in the hat.
Because he's been a past winner. Here's the sick part. I actually have little slips of paper that have a lot of these people's names on it. So I got to quickly find or scratch out and get a Greg Kosks in the hat. You know what? I'm going to scratch out a pass. Okay, we're going to get Greg in the hat. And
There you
everybody
go.
sees. And I'm glad I made this official because
Oh,
then
you're kind of establishing in anti-George Santos fashion the legitimacy of this contest.
no,
here.
no, no. It's legit. That
Yeah.
slipped my mind to check to see that all 10 ran, and I just looked and see that there was a late scratch, and it was number 4. And
Probably nobody would have known this, though. I mean,
no,
so
I
it's
could have
very
gotten
noble of
away
you.
with it,
All
but
right.
my conscience, I would have been up at night. You know me. I'm an Eagle Scout, Tifo. I'm a man that doesn't even like to take the free
People
gifts.
would question that, though. I mean, after watching this show for a couple of years,
Here we go.
especially
10.
the visual version of it. All right, you got the names in the hat.
They're now 10 in the hat. I'm not
They had
looking
France.
all-
They had the winning horse.
Yeah, here we
in
go.
the Stallion Stakes, the Dr. Fager,
I'm opening it up.
and the winner is
Oh, God.
Greg.
I tossed it up. Greg Kosk.
Okay, good for him, man. He deserved it. You left him
And I
out. He had
swear,
the
I-
scratch horse. He was the least deserving of the people that were in the hat there.
Yeah, but you know, that horse was so
Fugazi
easy.
method of when he
It's
got in
almost
there.
harder to hit it with a scratched horse that you back
Well, he
into.
had some guts to step out against the favorite, too. So
Yeah.
maybe that's what was
And
rewarded here.
And you know who's all right. Well, anyway, that's
It was
it.
stuck
It's
to Bonnie.
legit. No. I got all of it. And I tossed them up. It wasn't there's no
You know, you're doing your best to spark a protest here.
least deserving. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Don Jaffe was in the
Next
hat.
thing you know, you'll be gluing your feet to the floor.
I think some of the contestants might be. Hopefully
Yeah.
not with the last place finisher of the race. But
How insane was that, though? What kind of glue did this guy use?
so first of all, it must have been the super glue or the stuff that who's the
Gorilla
guy?
glue. I mean,
the-
Phil
the-
Swift, Flex Seal.
Phil Swift, Flex Seal. Maybe it's
That would have been. I mean, wouldn't that be the immediate replacement for all of their ads? That where this guy is like going over Niagara Falls in a boat that was taped together with Flex Seal, and you're thinking that this guy couldn't survive a roller coaster ride, much less that fall.
you know,
you know.
it really ticked me off that protest. Look, I'm all for protest, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, but there's a time and a place for everything. And if you really want to protest climate change, you should go to the halls of Congress or some of the state legislatures where some politicians have had their heads in the sand for decades, denying the existence of climate change and all the impacts they're having. Like
Tape
it's-
yourself out at a Capitol building.
Yeah, but why are you involving Coco? I mean, that disrupted. It was a serious momentum killer. Coco was rolling, and for
Yeah.
her to show the poise, they both. I mean, look, both players were equally impacted by the delay. I think it was 49 minutes, but that kind of stuff, you know what? It's not only misplaced; it's counterproductive because you end up losing people who might ordinarily be sympathetic to your cause because you're being a complete asshole by ruining the U.S. Open semifinals for the women. So,
Listen to you with your soapbox. One of the best ones, was when Fan Man crashed into the. Were you at that fight, Bo Holyfield? I remember you. Had the pleasure of covering some big time
I
boxing.
was
for a
at the
while.
Holyfield, the bite fight, but meanwhile,
Not the bite fight, but the Fan Man one, where Holyfield and Bo were fighting, and the guy crashed into the corner.
On the
Yeah,
glider
into one of
with
those weirdo
the
things you see
fan.
at the beach, and you're wondering how is that guy not crashing into my blanket here by the pier? And he held up in the middle of a championship fight for like 20 minutes before they could peel him off the ropes. And subsequently, I would imagine treat him like the card cheating casino.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you never could predict one moment.
Well, why should I be laughing that this guy probably took a vicious beating after that as they escorted him onto Las Vegas Boulevard?
I might take a vicious beating at the tournament tomorrow because we do have a full-fledged rebellion here. Don Jaffe wants an inquiry. He was in the hat. Brian Schwartz says he's calling DOJ.
I mean, you threw a name in at the last
Jack
second
Smith.
that really, was a very gray area.
Blanche
qualifier.
Maines, who is one of our, she was in the hat. And she got in. She's one who actually benefited from a flub of mine before because I inadvertently pulled two names out of the hat instead of one, and she was the second one that was pulled out.
It's not like the networks are going to be begging for you, to replace Seacrest as Sajax.
I did my best, and at least I made it like that there was somebody who had the scratched horse. I put it in. It's not like I intended to pull that one out. It was random. I was mixing them up. You could go back to the tape.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was an old trick though, where the guy that was pulling the thing from a radio station promo, and there would be a massive drawing, and he'd have the drum there, and he'd have one name stuck to his palm with a piece of gum.
Right.
Somehow, a relative of yours would end up winning the Wave Runner that we were giving away. And the next thing you know, I mean, you're wondering, does that come with a trailer? And waltzing away from the contest.
Blanche wants 2 out of 3, but I don't know if I pull another name and we award 2 again. I don't know. Joe is gonna like.
That was legit. Look, people, that was legit. The guy, he put the name in. He had mistakenly left it out. I'm for a rare change, I'm going to side with you, Mayo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what happens when Luby is gone. You come to appreciate me a little bit more.
No, not really. I mean, it's somewhat underwhelming in other areas, but the 20 minutes on the poker tournament, which I still don't know how do we get there and sign up. But anyway,
go to Coconut Creek Casino.
Yeah.
Ask for directions to the poker room. It's on the 2nd floor. You got to take an elevator. Smoke free, very pleasant.
It's
you
very
go
nice
to the cage and
well
you sign
run
up.
too.
Anytime tomorrow. And here we are talking about it again. Hey, let's take our first break and we'll come back and we'll talk about, I don't know. Our audience hates sports. We can talk about my continued
You had that remarkable list, which, by the time you finished reading it, I actually was seasick. I mean, just thinking about this. But you had eaten at a zillion places. I can't believe you can't possibly have added 10 more places to your resume that you ate at over the weekend. That's almost, more meals, more restaurants than there would have been in meals to consume.
It is crazy, but
what are you talking about? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then
I have another list.
An extra meal.
There's breakfasts and lunches and all kinds of things. But first, let me talk about our friends at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, because that's a great place to go. Whether it's the weeknights when you're trying to make a quick, easy meal at home, or the weekends where you might be entertaining some guests and have a cookout, throw some great steaks and fish on the grill. Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, right across from another Seminole property, the Classic Casino. And you can't miss Delaware. They got a big chicken on the roof. And once you get in that store, they're open 7 days, but you're going to see the greatest, freshest array of seafood, fish, all displayed to your left. Then to your right, you have the steak and chops and the pork chops, and they've got all kinds of sausages. And then right in the middle there is what's made them famous from the get-go, their poultry selection, chicken and turkey and duck, all fresh, all cupped up in pieces, whatever you want, whole chickens, fryers, pieces, wings. They have it there. Go to DelawareChicken.com is the website to get the latest, the specials, the weekly specials, the daily offerings. It's a fantastic place. It's been there since the early 60s. Doug Carter and crew is the owner. They'll take great care of you. It's all about the service, the selection, the value, the price. And of course, we've got the Jewish high holidays coming up. Rosh Hashanah is this Friday, and they also have some things for the high holidays. They could prepare you some great chopped liver that they sell. They also have gefilte fish and other kinds of fish, seafood products that you might want for your holiday table. Go in there and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. DelawareChicken.com.
That's a great place. Andy's cracking me up. Says, find me some votes. This contest that now reeks of election fraud. Unbelievable. All right. Are you capable to play?
Let's see. I'm going to hit a button.
Spot block? Okay.
Yeah,
coming
see.
back.
Two of them.
More.
Two
Mike Mayo's Lunchbox in a moment. Here we go.
Beach Cafe. It's a South Florida landmark, and it's one happy restaurant right on the water. Tables literally on the beach. A place where you could dip your toes in the sand, kick back, relax with island vibes, tropical drinks, and live music daily. You know it. It's at One Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. And of course, it has Chef Chris Nealon and his famed Caribbean Floridian cuisine. With a huge menu with something for everyone. Seafood, raw bar, conch fritters, burgers, sandwiches, salads, deli specials, and of course, that famous Bimini bread. They've got a great staff that'll take great care of you. There's something to celebrate every day. Open 7 days until late. Parking available on site. Happy hour weekdays 4 to 7 p.m. Go check out more at ArubaBeachCafe.com. Better yet, go in there yourself at Aruba Beach Cafe. Good food, drinks, friends, and laughter are always the catch of the day. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. It's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Food, glorious food. Oh, yeah, we're back on the Lunchbox, and you will never find me on The Masked Singer or American Idol or anything associated with singing. We're back on the Lunchbox. Luby is not here. The usual accoutrements, as you will, the little music that gets sprinkled in, is not here. It's an acoustic stripped-down version with Luby off-riding camels. But look at me. We got the show up and running. And tomorrow, Jeff Defo DeForest, I think I might even throw a new wrinkle and maybe try to invite a guest on to come on and have a third wheel. Maybe Seth Gonzalez, our friend, the Burger Beast, just celebrated the 15th anniversary of his blog and his becoming the Burger Beast and a man of beastly proportions when it comes to eating around South Florida. We love Seth when he comes on because he knows his burgers, that's for sure. What about you? So what's on your agenda? Do you want to talk some Dolphins or food, or what do you think?
It was very impressive. I mean, a great weekend, sports-wise, all the way around. I mean, so many different things. You had the opening week of the NFL, which was fantastic. Not every game was great, but we had probably the most exciting one on the board to watch, and that was the Dolphins and the Chargers. A lot of question marks, going into the game always about offensive line play and this, that, and the other thing. Looked like they were going to be suspect again, but that was a thrill in Manila of a football game. I was conflicted because I was trying to catch as much of the U.S. Open, and you had a great day of college football also on Saturday. So, it was tough. Saturday I was able, because I was in, you'll find this surprising, a pari-mutuel facility. I was able to watch little Coco as I was playing the horses and catching a Hurricane football game, which was another, terrific performance by a South Florida team. I would say this. I mean, you're looking at South Florida teams on what seems to be just a perennial, now unending
this year,
perpetual Cinderella ride. And then
and individuals too, like Coco.
And New York, I mean, New York just a shambles after watching that disgrace of
Well,
a game
the Giants
with the Giants last night, and so it
Joe
makes you wonder.
Joe Beja is going to be wearing black in mourning after that performance.
They literally, I mean, they found Brian Daboll in the Hudson River last night
already with the cement velocities.
Sully Sullinger was had to scope this guy out, and then you have the Jets tonight, which it leads me to believe that maybe if you're just looking at the trends, South Florida trending way up.
Yep.
New York trending into the gutter, and so maybe this will be a big eye-opening surprise for a lot of people. And then you had the whole Deion Sanders thing, Medvedev and Joker yesterday. That second set was an unbelievable athletic bloodbath.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of good stuff over the weekend, sports-wise, no question.
The tennis was brilliant, and again, Coco Gauff at age 19, Delray Beach's own, and we've got some angles because I didn't realize until Friday's show at Gulfstream, but Ken, the professor, went to school with Coco Gauff's father and was actually good friends at Spanish River High with Coco's dad. And Coco's dad at one point was running a restaurant bar in Delray Beach. They since sold that. I think it was a victim of the COVID, but I guess they don't need to be in the restaurant business after Coco's success now. And it's just great. She has shown so much poise and just whether it's handling somebody gluing their feet to the floor, or it seems like every opponent was some European stalling for time because they just were, either gassed or, just needed a break because Coco was just had such a good rhythm going. And it seems like every match somebody was, pulling some medical thing where they had to take a few minutes. But she was not fazed by any of that. And, again, big congrats to her. Let me share a text that I got from our friend, Pat Utter, at Shenanigans.
Blanche, by the way, says Buffalo's from New York, but we don't consider Buffalo to be New York. I mean, come on,
like the
Blanche.
Midwest. Yeah, no, it's upstate. But
it's a town by comparison.
And I did stop off at Shenanigans at one point. I had some of their great wings. I had the lemon pepper wings, and I had a unbelievable burger that I actually split. So I did cut a burger in half, which is against one of my rules, but it was because I was sharing it with my buddy Scott, and he's been a fan.
You mean you didn't just grab the whole thing first, shovel half of it in your mouth, and give him the rest? No?
We did a basic burger without cheese and just grilled onions and some pickles on it and ketchup.
Oh, yeah, it was nice.
I asked for it medium rare. It came out perfect. It was just such a good burger.
Ketchup, pickles, and grilled onions. That's all I need on a burger.
And
cheese and or cheese. Not, it's
great. I'm watching my cholesterol.
Yeah.
So I cut the cheese out.
What was that number again? There wasn't 234. I immediately thought of you when I saw that rushing total.
And not to put anybody in matchups or anything, but people rave about the La Tub burger. I'm sorry. I mean, I went to La Tub a couple of weeks ago with my brother, and it was just
you were once a big fan of this place, though.
I was a huge fan of La Tub.
Wow,
things change, and I'm saying the most recent burgers that I've gotten at Shenanigans, and I'm not just saying this because they're a sponsor. I'm saying this with my objective food critic hat. It's just been tremendous. Big blocks of 8 ounces of good Angus beef. So I've been
better than La Tub. You put them on top of La Tub.
Put them on top of La Tub.
Because La Tub, that they've become one of those debatable places a little bit. Maybe influenced by your slight negativity about the new ownership or whatever, the way they're handling things. But
they make it a little more corporate, and they're pre-cooking some of the burgers, and you can't pre-cook a burger.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, no, you want to start from scratch. I don't care if I have to wait a while.
Let me get back to Pat's text. He goes, "Great weekend." He sent this last night.
Yeah,
almost every Florida team won this weekend. First, his son's high school team, Chaminade, completely obliterated a team from the New York area, Bergen, New Jersey. Chaminade is like the top-ranked high school team in the country now. They won like 62-20.
Isn't that your daughter's school also?
No. Chaminade is playing my daughter's school, American Heritage, this Friday. Not very culturally sensitive, but I guess a Catholic school doesn't have to be. But same night as Rosh Hashanah, they're having it's one of the biggest Broward County matchups this year, Chaminade versus American Heritage, Battle of the Unbeaten.
Obviously, they wouldn't be playing Yeshiva on that night.
No Yeshiva. All right, so Chaminade dominates. UM wins big. FSU wins big.
Yep.
UF wins big. FIU won. Central Florida beat Boise State. Southern Florida won. Dolphins played a great game. Tampa Bay and Jacksonville Jaguars both won. You know who the only team that lost of all of them was?
And you had a couple of big Marlins wins out of 3 against Philadelphia.
Listen, the only local college football team, or actually statewide, to lose, and again, the Luby curse.
FAU.
Yeah, FAU.
Yeah.
The
But
one
I
that
mean,
we sat
I
down
don't
with.
know. I don't know what to anticipate. I mean, we loved Tom Herman. The guy was great. I think he'll do well. I guess they had won their opener. I don't know who they played in the first game because they're 1-1 now. And we like that guy at FIU, Mike McIntyre, a real good guy. I've had him on our show, our sports show, a few times, and I saw him. It was one of those cases, and you've been to probably a zillion of these in your sports writing days, introductory coach press conferences. And what is the guy going to say? You know what? We're going to suck for a couple of years. And I tell you what, I don't know how anybody could win with these people that own the team. Of course, they're going to be optimistic. But this guy's enthusiasm was so infectious that I decided to try and feature him as a guest, and now he's getting results. So that's a good thing
That's
to
good.
see.
Yeah. No. Anyway, it was a great weekend. I've lost track of the Marlins. They've won a couple games. Are they still?
Oh,
in the
they've
hunt
been
for a
doing great. I mean, they were getting no hit for 6 1/3 yesterday. Sarney was all over this, and it looked abysmal at best. Down 3-0. Haven't been able to muster up a single base hit. And then they rally in that seventh inning, actually tie the game up at 3-3. Go on with a 2-run homer in the eighth inning to take the lead. They hold them off, and they win 5-4. So they're still very much kicking. I mean, here we are. We're getting
How many
to
games
mid-September
of the wild card?
I didn't check the standings today. I want to say I saw somewhere maybe there's still a half game out, but they're
so
right there.
They're still in it. Okay, and it's
There are 4 or 5 teams in the shake there for the wild card, including the Phillies.
Okay, so maybe they'll get into the hat like Gregory.
Could be a bogus drawing like you just conducted here with this Greg Backus or whatever his name was that won the gift.
We got to take care of some more business. Tropical.
You know what? You're more on track with this format than you are even when Luby's running the show.
Sometimes when I have a lot to do, I'm better when I'm like super focused and kind of instead of just lollygagging through life, which I've been kind of doing lately. But
all right, well, stay focused here.
Well, I'm
Tropical Acres. Yeah,
Tropical Acres. Well, what I was going to mention is that usually I would say, "Oh, tonight's the night, half price wine night, go into Tropical Acres tonight." Rare week. They are closed for some kitchen remodeling for the next 3 days. Wow. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. However, they still have their butcher shop open, so you can go in there and grab a couple of their great barrel cut fillets if you want to throw those on the grill at home. That will be, again, the butcher shop at Tropical Acres is open this week for the next 3 days while the dining room is being renovated. And the butcher shop open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The dining room will reopen on Thursday, and then you'll be able to go into the bar and get those great happy hour deals from 4 to 6:30, half-price drinks, all those great light bites. They got the sirloin sliders that are delicious. They got escargot. They have also chicken wings in the bar there for happy hour. And then you go right into the dining room when it opens at 4:30, either for the early bird or go in there a little bit later on, and you can get all those great deals that they have, like the $39 Twin Lobster Special. That's going on all the way through October. Into November there at Tropical Acres. 2 steamed, freshly, live Maine lobsters, $1.25 each. You get that with a salad and a side dish for $39. You can't beat the value at Tropical Acres. Typically, half-price wine night is Monday and Tuesday, so you'll have to wait for next week to the return of that. And, of course, they have the loyalty reward cards for every 12 entrees that you purchase. You get the 13th one on the house. I have one that's fully complete, and I am ready to use that.
I like the fact that you also have several that are on the cusp, like they're one punch away.
I collect them.
You're going to go in there. I mean, every time I see the picture of us with Jack Studiali there, I can't help but think of Trevor Dedman, the fact that this man literally is exuding class. So he's too classy to look at you, with the kind of look that he should give you if you come in there with like 4 punch card rewards. But it does represent that you had like 52 entrees when you finally cash in.
I pay for my own freight there.
What is it, 12 you need or 13 before you
12. It's every 12.
Okay. Every 12 you get a freebie. Nice.
On the house. And Tropical Acres, 2500 Griffin Road, just west of I-95 and the airport. Go in there for the butcher shop the next few days and then go back there starting Thursday. Again, their typical hours in the dining room is open from 4:30 till 10 p.m. and that's from Monday through Saturday. They're closed on Sundays Go there and tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
All right, in the few minutes we have left, which you've executed this thing very smoothly, I'm hoping that you will eventually clarify where you can get authentic and good Chinese food in Boca. And we'll come back. No, I saw that. It was a bloodbath.
I didn't even look at
that
it. I knew
particular thread. Yeah, it
it was going to be a bloodbath.
All right, coming back with more in a moment.
Want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting? Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova, or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
Huh?
Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. And we're back on the Lunchbox, and I got all the spots in, and we're still under the hour. And I didn't rattle off the list of places I ate this weekend, but here we go now. Casa Calabria.
I only have a couple of minutes here, Mike.
I know, but I'm not going to give them. I'm going to rattle them off, and then I'm going to give one note.
You ate at Casa Calabria? Nice.
Well, Casa Calabria. Luke's Seafood is a new place in Davie that's been getting some buzz on the group.
All
I went
right.
out there for a Sunday brunch yesterday. I had a nice piece of grilled fish.
How was it?
El Guanaco restaurant, which is a Mexican Salvadoran restaurant that we've featured here on the Lunchbox with Nikki Mohan and the Visit Lauderdale segment. You missed that show, but they do an excellent beef burrito, but it's not
That's
like
what you were saying. I would like to have one of those.
It's not the California style where it's
No.
stuffed with everything in it. It's more like a cheesesteak where they chop up this good meat with onions and peppers.
That's
they wrap
good
it
enough
up
for me. Yeah.
and they serve it on a side, and it's really good and
No
crispy.
beans. No beans
The
in it.
beans and rice are on the side,
Okay.
along with some guacamole. So that's good.
Well, would they stuff beans in there if you ask them, or is that
I
like
imagine
blasphemy?
they'll do anything you want if you ask them. They seem very.
Because then you would have a California burrito.
Yeah. So that was good. But getting back to Casa Calabria, I had kind of a Saturday night date night there, and it was beautiful because
anybody we know, or no. Okay.
Frankie was there. Frank Talrico, the owner, and
great.
he came by a couple of times. Our friend Salvatore, the chef, came out a couple of times, and you know what? We had a knockout of a meal. I spared no expense because, hey, I just got those checks, but got a nice bottle of Amarone. So my dining companion, we had a pasta special that was nice house-made rigatoni with this pistachio cream sauce that was excellent with some shrimp. But then it wouldn't be complete without getting the gnocchi, and we got the gnocchi with the gorgonzola sauce.
That is delicious.
And she fell over. She's like, "Oh wow, this is every bit as good as you have been proclaiming it." And she told that to the chef. She told that to Frank. Everybody was happy. Again, this is not me.
No potatoes, ricotta cheese.
It's made from ricotta. Fluffy little pillows is how I describe it on their spot. I said that to our waiter, and he's like, "Fluffy little pillows. That's good." I said, "Yeah, that's why I'm a writer." But I said, "That's what they are. They're
Every now and then you come up with a good one.
They were
no
beautiful.
question. Yeah.
And for the main course, you know what we had? Dover sole was a special. You don't see that at a lot of places.
Yeah.
And when you do, it's usually in the triple digits in Miami or $95.
Oh, yeah.
This was
Wow,
good.
that
It
high.
was $68, which again, for some people it's steep, but this is like one of the premier, entrees. And it comes out, chef brings it on a platter, and then he debones it, fillets it table side, and the presentation, the way he's skillful. You would have thought he was was it Christian? Who was the guy? Who
Like
did the
you
hearts?
coming at it with like a rasp file and a hatchet, like he did at Even Keel that day.
No, he did it with surgical precision.
Okay, all right.
and it was just a beautiful thing, a beautiful meal. So again, Casa Calabria, I'm going to write that up on the Let's Eat group because it was
Definitely do that. Yeah, I mean that place. You know what? When we went there for that lunch that time, I couldn't believe the taste that lingers is so pleasant. Like even like hours after the meal, you're like, wow, where did I eat? Oh yeah, Casa Calabria. That was great.
It was a beautiful meal,
Yeah.
nice bottle of wine, great company. And you know what? Here's the thing for people. Okay, so in the past, it could get a little uncomfortable because their air conditioning system was a little bit kind of on the older side. Well, they just totally upgraded and redid the air conditioning system.
Nice.
Frankie was very proud of that. And I got to tell you, it was completely comfortable and cool in there now.
You don't want to be schwitzing, Mike Mayo.
No, not when I'm eating the way I eat. I mean, I'm schwitzing usually anyway. But now
Other people are schwitzing watching you. But
I was cool as a cucumber or as cool as one of those beautiful slices of tiramisu that comes out for dessert. And that also, my dining companion was very, very impressed with the tiramisu. They're one of the better ones.
keep taking her to high class joints, Mayo.
Oh, yeah,
I think that'll impress her a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
it was cool.
Well, that's good. I mean, so you had a great weekend. Terrific job here today. I'm amazed if you can get us out of here in one piece.
Yeah, I think
That'd
we're a
be,
little bit over time.
That'll be really incredible.
It's
I
all
would
good.
I
Yeah.
have to
So
say, Luby probably a little shaken, if not stirred, by that earthquake.
and by the fact that we now know that we can
Pulled
do
off
it
2
without-
shows without the kid.
Could be. I don't know. Shirley might be giving them the
A
business.
lot
I told you not to
of
tell them.
jobs are, employers are just economizing here. It's a tough period of time.
We love our Luby, and we miss that voice and that cackle. So anytime he gets back, he's going to be
Part of the
running show.
soundtrack of life on
Yes,
these
it
shows,
is.
no doubt.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for today on the
Very
Lunchbox.
nice.
Come back tomorrow. Maybe we'll have a special guest. Maybe I'll try to get a third person linked up. Yeah, why not? We'll ratchet up the degree of difficulty. That's we like a good
Take a shot.
challenge.
Yeah, it worked for us today with the professor. I would imagine it's very doable.
Yeah, so we'll try again tomorrow. And until then, everybody, this is Mike Mayo for Jeff Devo DeForest and the camel riding, vacationing in the midst of disaster, Mike Luby Lubitz saying, have a great day and enjoy every sandwich.
Let's play poker too.
Nice. Oh, I can't get the outlay. There we go. Oh, there we go.